Hello and welcome to AI Unlocked with Intel Core Ultra. In this series, we'll interview creatives from across Canada about their artistic process, technology, and what's possible with AI. Adam Spizzirri is a dynamic graphic designer and small business owner specializing in sports collaborations. With over 4 years of design experience and a self-taught background, his impressive portfolio boasts collaborations with renowned brands like EA Sports and the Florida Panthers. Hey, Adam, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to chat with you. Thanks for joining us today.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we want to get to know you a little more. Can you walk me through your creative process, when you're starting a new project? How do you get started? How do you come up with the initial concepts?
I feel like I'm pretty basic when it comes to that. I'm always on social media for my job, so I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing so many great designs from different designers that I follow and look up to. So it's pretty basic. Like I'll lay out some photos with like a quick sketch, and then kind of just put my own style to whatever composition I create. Add some typography, some final touches. And that's pretty much it.
Graphic design involves a lot of experimentation, especially when you're trying to develop your own unique style. So what has that experimentation process looked like for you?
Okay, so I know so many designers that do this, is like they try and break down like somebody's design. So they'll take a designer, they like find one of their posters or something that they made and just try and like recreate it step by step. And by doing this, you learn so many different techniques and different tools and stuff within your programs that you use. It teaches you how to create good work. It's just mostly for learning purposes. I started when I was like 10 or 12. Like 10 to 12, that's when I started designing. So, obviously, I'm a little kid. I just want to create what I see. But then eventually, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, I started to develop my own style. Gratefully, it's recognizable and I can call it my own.
That's good, right? It's about finding yourself in the process.
Exactly.
So what editing tools do you rely on when trying to refine your design?
The Adobe suite. I've used a bunch of different applications and stuff, but Adobe's kind of stuck with me. When I first started out, I just used like apps on, a tablet, like some really like not great apps, just to get a feel for, like designing stuff and, creating something out of nothing.
In the process, as you've honed your art, I know that you've had challenges. Like
of course, everybody does.
Maybe you've had, I don't know if you've had formal training actually. Did you have formal training?
Nope, self-taught.
So this is self-taught,
yep.
Right? Exactly, I thought so. So tell us about the challenges that you've encountered on the way. How have you pulled through these challenges so somebody else can learn from your experience? Yeah,
so early on during the pandemic, I lost like my part-time job just working through school. I can't just sit at home and do nothing. So I was like, I'm gonna start this challenge. I didn't even start out like, I wasn't really planning to do a challenge, but it kind of turned into one just because I had so much free time. So I did what's kind of known in the sports design community now is like the 365-day challenge. So every day for a whole year, you got to create something new and post it on social media. And obviously that's kind of daunting to do that and come up with something new every day. So burnout, like creative burnout, like destroyed me like 6 months in, but you just got to keep pushing through. When you're like that far deep into it, you just got to finish it, right? So I feel like burnout's something that everybody kind of, in any profession, kind of has to deal with. And something that I've done recently is to just try and turn off on the weekend. Because if you're doing 7 days a week, just take your mind off things, go outside, enjoy, touch grass, as some kids like to say, touch grass like a meme. Yeah, I just, try and take my mind away from it.
I must applaud you because you went 6 months into
the
challenge. I think that in itself is worth recognizing because 6 months, every day coming up with something new.
Yeah.
It takes really digging deep and it takes commitment to stick with something for 6 months.
Yeah,
so you should give yourself some credit for that, right? And then as you ventured into creative design, tell us, what you would say to somebody who wants to kickstart their own journey.
Yeah, so, I didn't know that this was kind of like a career path to begin with. Mm-hmm. So I kind of stroke of luck.
So started off just as
social
passion,
media,
just something I like to do.
Yeah, just as a hobby, Then I started posting my stuff, started getting some followers and then posted more stuff and then kind of just snowballed from there. And then, clients start reaching out. So I guess my one like big piece of advice, especially to like young creators who are still in university or even high school, the earlier you start, the better, is to just make sure you get yourself out there. There's so many tools on social media that are free to post your work. share it, use your hashtags and stuff like that to get some recognition. But yeah, it's pretty paramount in this industry to make sure you have like a deep portfolio, a good portfolio. It's almost more important than your degree. I would say it is more important than your degree, is to have a good portfolio of work that you can showcase and show clients.
And this portfolio of work doesn't have to be in one area?
No.
Does it have to be versatile, or you just have to stick to one thing?
See, me, I just stuck to one thing, and it kind of stuck, and it's kind of what like I'm known for, is like the sports space.
What you do leans in with technology.
Oh yeah.
Right? So how important would you say it is to get the right technology to do what you want to do? Because you talked about applications that you use. And I know that, having those applications run efficiently is a marriage between the technology that you're putting those applications on. So what has your creative process been in that area when it comes to using technology?
Yeah, so like I said, I started designing on tablets when I was young, terrible graphics processing, terrible everything, computing. But yeah, especially when you have a bunch of different applications open. So for example, you have Lightroom, Photoshop, and Illustrator open to do a design project. It takes up a lot of RAM, takes up a lot of GPU and CPU power. So having the right equipment so that you're not, buffering and loading. If you're in you're a creative like Mojo and you're you're doing well in the design.
Nobody wants that buffering.
Oh my God. if something's buffering for 5-10 minutes, you're just gonna throw you right off, right? So yeah, it's so important. It's paramount.
Yeah. That's the one area you do not want to skimp on.
Oh yeah. Even just from the get-go, maybe not from the get-go, but if you're enjoying it the first month of just starting to design, just get some good gear.
Yeah.
It's gonna help you so much. It's gonna make it more enjoyable as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And AI, right? So I would say is, for me, a blessing in this space.
Me too.
So it's gaining traction in graphic design, and especially when it comes to generating imagery and editing. Have you incorporated AI at all in anything that you're doing?
Oh yeah, and designers should not feel guilty about doing it either, because it just streamlines the process so much. Instead of searching on Google or, all these different websites for free imagery, let's say, you can just hop on one generative AI application and whatever your imagination
Bring it to life.
You can bring it to life in 30 seconds, let's say, right? So it's just creating, an easier path to finding these assets to use in your designs. You're not necessarily just gonna design something through AI. You gotta put a human touch to it. Exactly. You know what I mean? People get called out on social media if they just use AI. So, it's a tool. I think, every designer should use it as a tool because it will streamline the process.
But the truth is, that human touch still makes a difference.
Oh, it makes all the difference. People who have no design experience whatsoever will know if a human touched the design that they saw on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. It's here to stay. It's not necessarily going to take over jobs because you do need that human touch.
So looking ahead, what do you think is in store for AI and graphic design?
I think it's just going to continue to evolve. And I think designers kind of just have to accept the fact that it's here and it's here to stay. And you should use it, it's a tool now, right? So
that is the key, getting the best out of these tools that are available to us and using it to our advantage, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We just talked about generative AI, and Intel recently launched Intel Core Ultra processors, and these are processors designed with AI in mind to make sure that AI applications run more efficiently. So let's take a look at this in action.
Let's do it.
GIMP with Stable Diffusion allows you to generate an image of whatever is on your mind in a couple of keystrokes. So what do you think?
I think it's incredible how far AI has come in such a short period of time.
It's a nice chatting with you, Adam. Thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
I look forward to seeing some interesting art that you're going to create with
Absolutely.
AI.
Appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Intel Core Ultra is now available at Best Buy. Go get it.